3 icebreakers that you can play on video conferences. And I'm starting with this little plant wall and showing a little bit of context of the space that I'm in, because one thing that I've actually noticed on video conferences really keeps things nice and stale is keeping people in the exact same setting. You only see the same box. And so we're gonna be in a box for most of this video, but just to give you a little bit of context on where we are. In this video, we're going to throw out some of the old traditional, tired, worn out icebreakers. And I'm gonna share with you, actually 4. The title was a lie. I'm gonna share with you 4 really awesome icebreakers that I have played hundreds of times on video conferences that I know work really well, that you can immediately steal and use in your own context. You may have been subjected to some painful icebreakers in the past. And not, even some of the traditional icebreakers, 2 truths and a lie, or would you rather, or something else, they can be good if they're well facilitated, but often they're not necessarily. So I'm just gonna give you 4 better alternatives. And if you're curious, the names of them are Data Dialogues, URock, Question Swap, and Gallery View Lineups. So kicking off right away with Data Dialogues. This idea stemmed from me working with some really analytical groups. Sometimes I work with engineers, software engineers, tech companies, people that are like really kind of type A, things gotta like be in a certain logic. And so to do an icebreaker is like, this is like soft, fluffy stuff. I don't know if I really wanna do this, and whatever that dynamic is. And so one way that I meet groups like that where they're at is by getting some data out into the group before we actually talk, so that we actually can talk about that. And what I mean by that is, in a video conference, you might actually create a poll that asks the group 4 questions to answer. And so it might be, and I would invite you to choose like A or B choices. So invite the group to choose either honesty or other people's feelings, or Coke or Pepsi. And I would suggest choosing about 3 or 4 questions that maybe relate to your culture, maybe one fun one that makes you think a little bit, and then something else that goes a little bit deeper. Take 60 seconds and literally map out 2 A/B choices that the group can choose, put them into a Zoom poll, launch the poll, have the group answer them, and then say, this is super interesting, here's the data, you share the poll back, and then invite people to split out into breakouts and discuss what that might mean about the group. If you're watching this video, you're likely quite brilliant, and so there's a million different variations that you could take from this. The point of this icebreaker is get data out on the table firsthand and then talk about it. It could be from the group, or it could also be some really interesting stat. Like, did you know that there's roughly 20,000 3-second moments every single day, and we forget 98% of them? What does that mean for our work? Like, sharing a stat like that and giving people to talk about an idea. I don't remember the exact Eleanor Roosevelt quote, but it's something like, small minds talk about people, average minds talk about events or something. Stephen, do you know this quote? This is, we're trailing off, it's all right, we're gonna stick with it. About great minds talk about ideas. And so really great icebreaker, especially for analytical folks, is to give someone an idea and then divide them into breakout rooms and invite them to discuss and unpack that idea. So I learned this activity as The Rock, actually, in person, but in a video conference setting, I changed it to URock. And this is how it works. You're in your group, you're all in gallery view, let's say in Zoom, and the directions that I would give to the group are, I am going to private message or direct message right through the Zoom chat one of you and say, you rock. Your goal as a group is to try to figure out and discern based on nonverbals who I sent that direct message to. And so be in gallery view for this, really tune in to people's facial expressions and nonverbals. I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna send the direct message, and so sometime in the next 60 seconds, I'm gonna send this message. And then I go ahead and pick somebody, type you rock. Simply take turns letting your group take guesses on who got the direct message. Now, what I would do after this to make this a little more meaningful, that can be just like a fun, 2-minute little energizer icebreaker. If you want to make it a little bit deeper and really get the group to tune into each other, consider splitting people out into breakout groups to have conversations about what nonverbals are present at Zoom, what nonverbals they want to be a part of the group culture, etc. Just a really nice lead-in to how we show up in video conferences. Number 3, question swap. So this activity is absolutely one of my favorites in person. You give a group of people a question written on a card, and either a note card if you got a smaller group, or you can find question cards in the link below or elsewhere on the internet, and give everybody a card, invite people to pair up, ask the question on their card to their partner, have that chat, the other person asks their question, swap cards, go find a new partner. That really doesn't work in video conferences. And so the next best thing is doing rounds, and you can pick the time based on the types of questions you're asking, but pick lengths of rounds to do quick swapping breakouts. I would rarely do pairs unless you know you've got a small intact team that you know everybody's gonna be on video, their mic's working, etc. In a larger group, I would do at least truples, maybe quadruples, and I would give the group the question, and I might even hold the question up for them to see it, split people out into breakouts, give them maybe about 90 seconds per person is the length of breakout that I would choose, and then bring people back, randomize breakouts, give them a new question, split them back out. Just to get to some high speed, what you can do doing that in like the span of 15 minutes, you can have people connect with 5 others, which would actually never happen in the entire length of the video conference that you were doing unless you just do these fast-paced breakouts. Last but totally not least, kind of a bonus exercise. I was actually facilitating a group just yesterday, and a lovely human being named Josh actually came up with this idea, and we played with it. Really fun. So the idea is gallery view lineups, using the feature particularly in Zoom that allows you to click somebody's face in gallery view and move them around. So I could say to you, arrange the group from longest hair to shortest hair, starting in the left corner, going to the right corner. And so everybody could move around, and it just creates a little bit of a pause, attention resets, give everybody a task. It only moves people around on a personal screen, so everybody's screen would be slightly different. And you could then invite people to read off what order you have people in to see if everybody else agreed. Love for you to start with right now is be in gallery view and arrange people from longest hair to shortest or no hair in the bottom right. So longest hair in the top left and shortest hair to the bottom right, and you can choose how you make that happen. Interesting. I've never paid so much attention to hair. Okay. And let me try this. So unraise your hand, Josh. Let me do one more experiment while we're just playing in the sandbox. As the host, I have the option to say follow host's order, and I found that this has largely not worked that well. But let me know. I'm going to click it in 3, 2, 1. Did that change things around for you? Yeah. It did. So Will's over on the top left. Can I move Will over down next to me in the bottom right? Yeah. And then I can move Josh over to the top corner, and then... Whoa, okay. This is it. You want to go off the lane? That's kind of fun. Cool. Okay. Or even, so we could even like high five in the order. If I hold out my arm like this, Mary, I think you're right next to me. So you could reach out, Mary, to this side of your screen and shake my hand. Is that true? Whoa. Now that would be, you can make that a lot harder and a little bit more discussion based by saying arrange everybody in by the day they were born, not the year, or arrange everybody by the month and the day that they were born. And so it's a way of actually sharing birthdays, which in a group of 30, there's like a 98% chance that somebody shares a birthday. It's some crazy math that I don't understand. You can Google like birthday math or something and figure this out. But when people are sharing their birthdays, it's possible that some little fun connections will be made in that as well. You can invite a group to line up in any way that you want to, so be creative with this. Josh's idea was to arrange people by shirt color so that your gallery view looked a little bit more like a rainbow as opposed to a random Brady Bunch style look. These are 4 quick ones. I happen to like them a lot, but I also have about 100 more sitting in my head, and so feel free to subscribe to the channel or download our free digital version of the Connection Toolkit, which has 100+ different exercises, activities, cards, things to help break the ice virtually and in person. I'm Chad Littlefield. Have an awesome day.